Welcome to episode 34 of the Bulls Recap Podcast. I'm Joe Colley of the Chicago Sun-Times. You can obviously read me in the Sun-Times sports section. If I'm in another section, you've probably made a mistake, or I did. You could follow me on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at @JCowleyHoops. This is the Summer League special, obviously. Las Vegas in the background in all its hot, stinky glory. So, where do we even start with it's one game. Obviously, there's another game tonight from when we're recording, but there's been practices. I think they had 3 practices. So, we've talked to some people kind of behind the scenes of how the practices went. Because I'm a man of the people, we're going to start with the good from game 1. Matas Buzelis, he will not play in game 2. Possibly he'll play in game 3 against the Pacers on Monday. That all depends. Obviously, he will not play in game 4. It was the goal was very simple. During the 3-day practices back in Chicago, the one they had here, and the first game against Toronto, it was, let's see how he does as a point forward. Let's see how he does as a secondary ball handler, secondary playmaker, something they would really like to explore. And why? Because that's the trend. Whether you want to go back to a couple of years, 4 or 5 years, Giannis, Joker, what they do, they're freaks. They're, not just athletically, because if people don't think Joker is an athlete, you're an idiot. But just how their IQ, how they see the floor. But now it's becoming a league-wide trend. If you have a dude who could rebound the ball and is 6'9" to 6'11" and could ball handle, and you could have him just attack with thrust and play with pace and get up the floor. Defense is on its heels. They can't get set. They can't get the matchups they want. You're putting all kind of pressure on the defense. That's what the league is trending towards. We saw that Thursday night in Cooper Flagg's debut, which, people are ripping on his 5 of 21 or whatever the hell he was shooting. I wasn't watching that because I know he's a scorer. The scoring's going to come. I was watching how much ball handling he did, the IQ, the winning plays that he made. So I thought he was kind of fantastic, even though people are, poo-pooing his performance. But that's what they want to see from Matas. If that's what you wanted to see, you saw it. 17 points. Didn't shoot efficiently, but here's what I liked: 7 free throws. Went to the free throw line 7 times against a physical Toronto team. Look, that Toronto team, there were a lot of grown-ass men on that roster, and there were a lot of dudes that were dogs fighting for spots because that's the mentality of that organization. The big boy organization wants physical players, and that's what they're looking for in the Summer League team. So Matas was beat up. Afterwards, he had more ice on him than he had sweat. Everything was ice. His wrist, everything. He had leg, knee, everything was iced. So I loved his ball handling. I loved his ability to see the floor. He had a really nice rebound. It was like in the first quarter. Rebound, 3 dribbles, and he's already into over half court and into making a play. He sees Lachlan Obrich, the second-round rookie for the Bulls, wide open, kind of flashing towards the hoop. Makes kind of a no-look, one-handed pass. And, Lachlan, who had a rough night too, we'll get to him, blew the easy basket. But that's what they want to see from him, because if they can get another runner and another athlete out there, it's just going to make things this better. And here's the thing. I talked to Matas afterwards, and he's like, look, I was a point guard back in high school. This is not new for me. I love having the ball in my hands. I feel good with the ball in my hands. He had a couple turnovers, but again, they were double teaming him. They were blitzing him. They were giving him every look, throwing the kitchen sink at him. So I thought it was a great first taste for him to see what that's like. He had a couple rough plays, obviously, but I liked it. I thought it was impressive. So, I'm going to give that a solid B. On a night that they were almost lost by 50, you take a B. We're going to get to the bad now. Let's go with first-round pick, Noa Essengue. We interviewed him that night. Obviously, he's suited up. You can only see so much. To see him out there and his build, it's like I kept saying he's a baby giraffe. He's awkward. He looks like a kid that just hit puberty and still has no control of his body. I'm not going to be too hard on an 18-year-old, but I am going to be hard on a first-round pick. because this kid is a project. This kid has a long way to go. And don't tell me it's just one game. Just the way he moves, his passiveness, he looked lost. He said after, I said, were you surprised with the physicality? I asked him that. He's like, yeah, I kind of was. Welcome to the NBA. This ain't France. This ain't the German league or wherever you played. These are big boys. And if you think a bunch of summer league dudes that aren't going to make a roster, most of them aren't, and are just hunting you down, wait till you get to the guys that are on the roster and they're trying to make money and feed their family and get paid. It's going to be a different animal. 7 turnovers, couldn't handle. I mean, there were so many negatives on the night. He had a nice dunk. Okay, you're 6'10", 6'11". I hope you can dunk. He hit 1 3. He airballed a couple other threes. One barely touched iron. His shot doesn't look awful, but it's just, I mean, I was completely underwhelmed. I think most of the Bulls media was completely underwhelmed. And if you're the Bulls front office, you're just like, we knew he's a project. Now we know for sure he's a project. He's going to need all kinds of development. I don't see him getting, if this roster stands as is, I mean, just write this year off as a kid that's probably going to play a lot of G League time just to get run and to learn the game, learn his body. To me, that's the thing. He's got to learn his body. Like any awkward teenager, because he is a teenager, he just he's just kind of all legs and he just has to figure things out. Will it come? Yes, but don't get excited about Noa Essengue anytime soon. If you live in Hoffman Estates, get excited. If you want to bring your ass up through the Windy City Bulls, get excited. If you're coming to the United Center to see the Frenchman, good luck. Lachlan Ulbrich, second-round pick. He's a two-way contract guy, so the chance of him flashing is very small anyway. I saw absolutely nothing from him where I was like, oh, I can see why they picked him. He's supposed to be kind of a physical presence. He kind of got just swarmed over by a more physical Toronto team. I mean, they threw for a first game, that was throwing it to the Wolves. And Lachlan Ulbrich did not stand out as, I could see his physicality. I could see him kind of be that muscle behind some of the Bulls' hustle. I mean, again, you want to see Lachlan Ulbrich, go watch Australian basketball or drive your ass to Hoffman Estates, because I have a feeling if Noa Essengue is going to be there a lot, Lachlan Ulbrich might as well just buy a house there, because I don't see anything right now from him. So that was my Bulls take. Tough first game. We'll see where it goes, but I was glad to see what I wanted to see from Matas. That's a guy who I think can be a big-time weapon, is confident doing it, and I think Matas Buzelis is in for a special year. The Bulls, I know, are hoping he's in for a special year, but I just think just the way he's carrying himself this offseason, adding the muscle, the reports I got, even we had last month, we had Aya Desumu on the podcast, and he talked about what Matas was like out in Los Angeles. They had a kind of a team get together, for a week. We're just going to ball out. We're going to get our treatment. We're going to lay low at night and treat it like just a hardcore, early summer camp where we get work done. And Matas Buzelis, as I'll put it, was unstoppable in the games. Now, obviously, it's against his own teammates, his inner squad. But guys were going all out, and Matas was unstoppable. So I expect big things from him. I know the Bulls do. I think he is headed to be the face of this organization. It was nice. All his teammates, well, not all his teammates, a lot of his teammates showed up courtside here in Vegas. Kobe White, Kevin Herter, Io was there. I'm trying to think who else. I mean, there were a couple more guys, but, no Vooch or Josh Giddey. But for the most part, there were a lot of guys there and excited to watch Matas and watch the young Bulls compete. Some buzz out of Summer League. some rumors, all that kind of stuff. Look, this has been an awful year to be a restricted free agent. For those that don't understand how restricted free agency works, you become a free agent, you go out onto the market, there's bids for you, and then the team has the opportunity to match those bids. If you're unrestricted, you are just a free agent, and it's just a bidding war. Guess what? Restricted free agency sucks right now if you're a restricted free agent. There is no money. There is no buzz around the restricted free agents. Josh Giddey, Jonathan Kuminga, welcome to the reality of the first and second aprons and the CBA that everyone thought was so great a couple of years ago until the reality of it has kicked in. Josh Giddey has two options. He can continue to negotiate, which is a hard negotiation. His camp is stuck at $30 million. I reported for the Sun-Times earlier in the week. They are digging their toes in the sand at the Jalen Suggs contract, $30 million, and that's what they wanted at the beginning of the year when the Bulls first had the chance to negotiate with him and had acquired him in the Caruso trade. They wanted $30 million for the extension. They still want that $30 million. The $30 million is not happening. I wish Arturas Karnisovas was this hard and tough last year when Patrick Williams was a restricted free agent, and no one was bidding for him, and they just gave him 19 million, 18 million, whatever it was a year for 5 years. That could have been a much harder negotiation where you could have looked to get him from 12 to 14 million and been like, Pat, you're hurt all the time and you're passive. And until you show that and make that jump, this is the price for you. But Arturas, who loves to hand out player options and money undeserved, decided, let's do it again. Now you got a guy, Josh Giddey, who actually balled out the second half of the season, and now you're the hard guy. But it is what it is. That's league-wide. So what it sounds like from talking to people, it feels like the Bulls are more at like the 22 to 23, and the area that they'll settle on is 25 to 27. Okay, it's just who's gonna edge towards that line. So right now it's just a pissing contest. Same thing with Jonathan Kuminga. The difference with Kuminga is there's sign and trade involved because there is trade value for him. Sacramento is number one right now on the list from things I'm hearing. The Bulls are still in there, but that's kind of died down a little bit. But Kuminga is going to be interesting because that's not just here's the bidding war for Kuminga, will you match it? This is, we're interested in acquiring him under sign and trade, and we want to do it at X price. Can we get it done? And what assets do you want back? So that one's a little trickier, but it feels like that something will get done with him. It's just a matter of, does Golden State want to keep him, or are they looking to treat him like a trade asset? So that's the buzz around Josh Giddey. Interesting. There's no buzz about Kobe White from the people I've talked to that he's going to settle on anything and give a hometown discount. Again, that's been reported by multiple Bulls writers that he is going to test free agency after this upcoming season. He's going to bet on himself this season. Same with Ayo. Neither of them guys look like they're giving hometown discounts and will do some extension before the season starts. It just isn't really in the cards. So that's the Bulls buzz from Summer League. The overall buzz from Summer League, and we'll get to this later too, but is this draft class and the way some of these guys are flashing. I mean, even some later picks, Liam McNeely, he was impressive. It's been nice because there was a lot of hype around this class, and the people are showing out here in Vegas. And the Cooper Flag, Lakers debut, against the Lakers debut, and Bronny James, unbelievable. How many people were at Thomas and Mack? So believe the hype. All right, let's go to Kali Island. We're going to go back to Noa Essengue. And it's not that the way he played. That is what it is. But here are the Bulls. It's been reported by all of the Bulls beat writers that Colin Murray-Boyles was high on their board, probably number one. He goes to Toronto. perfect fit for them. Physical, defensive guy. I mean, that Toronto team's just going to beat people's asses this year. They might not win, more than 40, 42 games, if that. But you're going to feel them, and you're going to feel playing against them. You do not want them on the back end of a back-to-back. Bring the Band-Aids and the ice, because they're just going to be a physical, grind-you-out team. He's a perfect fit for them. All right. Then Kamen Malawash is sitting there. There's rumors that there's teams interested in trading up for him. Obviously, he's part of the Kevin Durant, Houston, Phoenix, cross swap. But if you're the Bulls, why can't you try jumping up there and getting him? Because I know they liked him as well. Okay, so you went from going after probably the most ready, proven guy in Collie Murray Boyles. He was not some 18-year-old. He's a grown-ass man. Carter Bryant, another guy who is automatically ready to come in and wreak havoc defensively, is on your board high. And then all of a sudden you just go, let's go with one of the biggest projects, one of the youngest players' biggest projects. We all got our extensions, so who cares? Why don't we go with Noa Essengue, who in 3 years might be a rotation guy that gives you 15, 20 minutes. The way it looks right now for me. 2 years. Let's give him a break. Let's have some grace with him. And it comes back to so many problems I have with this front office. It just seems like they just blow with the wind. They just really, we got a plan, but it's not a cement plan. But then they tell us, we're going to be methodical. We're building towards a championship. But then they do things that you're not building towards a championship when you take an 18-year-old project. You're late in that's a guy that should have gone late or to a team with multiple picks. If San Antonio wanted to take him with their second pick after they already had Dylan Harper, fine. You got another Frenchman. Wemby's got his, countryman. It's a good fit. There's no rush for the kid. You bring him along slowly. No one's, you're an up-and-coming team, but you haven't arrived. That's a good fit. But if you're a front office that is like, hey, we're building towards a championship, and hey, but it's good, we're going to need patience. But hey, we're not skipping steps. We're going to be methodical. But hey, we're going to make steps that actually set us back a little bit because this guy is it's just talking out of both sides of your mouth, both sides of your asses. And it's not the kid's fault. I just would like to see a clear plan, a stick-to-itiveness on that plan, and a plan that actually I say, okay, it might take longer than I'd like, but I get it. It's a plan I think that's going to work. I don't see that. So, again, Bulls front office, what are you doing? I mean, what are we doing here? It's fine by me. I don't mind being off in mid-April every year and covering a play-in game. I like free trips down to Miami, go to South Beach, one game, boom, bang, bang, you're home. I'm done. That's fine. Let's go to the list. These are the guys' most impressive showing. It might not be the scoring. You looked and you were like, yeah, that dude, I can see something coming now from that dude. Number one, Carter Bryant. I don't even care how much he scored. His defense and his he was just harassing guys where you're calling the cops with that kind of harassment. I mean, it was relentless. He can mess up a game plan. And I don't care if it's 15 minutes a night. That dude is going to be a problem for the opposing offense. So I'm excited to see what exactly he turns into. I didn't realize just how he plays with length too. I mean, he just backside, block shots, just springy jump. I mean, number 4, Cooper Flagg. Everyone, the 5 for 21, blah, blah, blah. Cooper overrated. Another Duke boy overrated. I think all that is hilarious. People that watch that game and understand that game, they saw a kid that is just high IQ, gets it, and is in a perfect situation for a Mavericks team that has actual proven vets around him where he could kind of ease into it all. So I thought his debut was great. Number 3, VJ Edgecombe. I loved Edgecombe. People that listen to the podcast know how I feel about Edgecombe. And the reason is, look, he still has a lot of raw ability. his athletic ability and the things he's going to be able to do just from an athletic standpoint, putbacks, offensive rebounding, a fearlessness to attack the rim, the 3-point shooting, that kind of stuff, that will come. He'll work on that. But his instant athleticism and, again, like Cooper, not having the pressure of having to come in and do it from day one with Philly, he's going to be a problem. I mean, with their roster and what he can do and just come in and just be an athlete and then learn the game off of that athleticism, outstanding. Kasparis Yakachunis. Well, hello, Mr. Illinois. 24 points. And he's played some games before that, whether it was in Utah or the California Summer League, that week-long thing they had before. And so he had some moments in that. But 24 points, and he looks like a dude. I was impressed with his defense and his physicality. He's not some he went to Illinois for a year and chased that NIL dream that a lot of guys are doing, a lot of the Euros are doing. You go to college for a year. Dame Sarr, obviously, is the big name now that's doing it for Duke. I was impressed. He looked good. So he was on the Bulls' radar, but Noa Essengue. Number one's a tie, and it's two guys from last year's draft class. And they both scored 28 points. Ron Holland III for Detroit, Reed Sheppard for Houston. And here's why I put him as a tie. Both these dudes have great opportunities to flash on really good teams now, especially Ron Holland III. I think he was they put him in there 15 minutes a game, and he's a rotation guy. I think he played in all 82 games too, from what I remember. But just he was like almost being dragged along by an up and coming group. Now he has a chance to be another guy in a young Detroit team that's looking to make huge strides this year. So 28 points against the Knicks. He had the putback dunk hurt around Summer League that was just nasty. Just looked confident. Looked like he's grown into his body more, understanding the game. It's just like everything looks slowed down for him. Reed Sheppard, same thing. I mean, for a Houston team that has huge championship aspirations, when you go out and make the trade they did for Kevin Durant. And Reed Sheppard did flash. He had a couple 20-point games. He played less minutes than Ron Holland III. And it just was like he just got lost in the depth. But coming out of college, I think he was number 3 overall. Don't forget, this dude in college was a guy. He was a dude, and there's no reason that he can't take a major jump for a championship-level team. He could shoot it. He could play either guard spot. If the defense continue. And the thing is, they've got defenders around him. So he's good there. He's fine. So that was impressive. Those two so far are the best thing I've saw, the thing that had the most buzz. So, look, Summer League, we got at least another week or so to break things down. We'll see how they continue to go. We'll have kind of an all-Summer League team out of this in the next pod when this comes out, and what kind of buzz comes out of it. But the early part of Summer League, that's where we're sitting at. Bulls, Noa Essengue. Till next week, I got next.